Guys, one of my subscribers asked me to talk about communication, something like how to communicate and having interpersonal skills and public relations. So I decided today to dedicate this video on developing good communication skills. Having communication skills. Do you know that even if maybe you found out or that someone can say, let's say it's talking to person C, the person A can say some words to person C, then there is person B, and then this person B will also say the same words or the same things to person C. But look here, guys, look here. Person A can say words, and then person C will respond positively to those words, and then person B will say exactly the same words, and then person C will respond negatively to those words. What happens here? What is happening here? Because person A comes to person C and probably it's a request or an offer, then person C will accept the same offer. Then let's substitute person A with person B, and then person B comes to the person C asking him and requesting the same thing, and then person C will reject or will refuse. What would have happened? Those are exactly the same words. That's what I'm here to talk about today. Having good and interpersonal skills. Communication requires a skill. How you say things and how you talk, how you approach determines the outcome in any area. The way you approach that person would depend or will lead to whether you'll be successful or unsuccessful. That is it. Most of you will understand what I'm talking about. I go to a certain person, and then that person will accept, will grant my request. Then another person going to the same person, and the request will be rejected. It will be rejected. So when you are talking to a person, first you have to have a good timing. See whether the person is happy or unhappy, because some of the things, it will not be due to you as an individual that you are the one who caused it. No, sometimes it's poor timing. Probably that person he is not in a good mood. So if that person is not in a good mood because of something that have happened that you are not even aware of, that person can reject that offer or can reject that request. Timing is very important. You have to study, or you have to just examine a little bit if the person I'm approaching is happy or not happy. Then there are factors that are due to you because of you, because you don't have good communication skills. The approach. First, you have to approach in a polite manner. If you approach in a rude and a bad manner, of course that person will reject. No one likes a person, someone approaching me, let's say saying something is demanding. Of course I will refuse. So the way you approach a person in a well-mannered way, being patient with that person, because you are the one who may be needing a favor from that person. You need him, it doesn't need you. These are also called interpersonal skills or interrelational skills. How in terms of communicating in everyday relationships with the stakeholders, with business partners, with the potential investors, with the customers. In communicating, most people are having challenges in communication. They do not have good communication skills. But communication skills will be very, very important for your success if you want to be successful. Because you always talk every day, you talk with your friends, you talk with your family, you talk with strangers. So communication is a day-to-day skill that you have to acquire. Of course, you talk, but how is the communication? Is it being received? That's why I said someone can say exactly the same way that another person had said, but it was not received well by the recipient. How is the message being received? Because communication, of course, it's not about just uttering words, about saying, about just typing. You are conveying a certain message. You are deliberating on a certain issue. Therefore, it has to be responded in a positive way. That's all about communication. That's why they say effective communication. Because there is need for feedback. But the feedback has to also be positive. Depending on what you want, what you are requesting, or what you are saying. At your workplace, you communicate with your colleagues, with your acquaintances and workmates. You communicate with your boss. You communicate also with your subordinates. But if you don't know how to effectively communicate, it will be a dead end. The subordinates will not be able to receive what you have ordered them to do or what you have requested them to do. Communication is vital in our day-to-day life. When you're communicating, you have to look at the person you are talking to. Who are you talking to? The way you talk to your boss and the way you talk to your fellow subordinates, it's different. Because these are two different people. Your boss, the way you approach him, the way you approach your subordinates, have to be different. Who are you communicating with? because there are various at an organization. These people are at different levels. This one is your superior. You cannot go and you give orders to your superior on what to do. No, he's the one who gives you orders. And then to your subordinates, you can give them orders, of course, with respect. But and they have to follow those orders. Who are you talking to? You have to look at that. Also, look at who are you talking to in terms of age. The way you talk to your friend and the way you talk to your father is different, because this one is your father and that one is your friend. So if you portray a wrong message to your father, you may be saying the right thing, but the wrong way. So people come to me and say, I have said this, but still nothing has happened. Or I was even insulted. You could have said the right thing, but how you have said it. So you have to look at people, because people are different. People are different. Personality, behavior, attitude, and everything. So know who you are talking to. Some people are slow to anger, and some people are quick to anger. Some people will be angry before you would even approach them. Especially, I'm talking to young adults, to the youth, because this will be a challenge. This is, you are talking to someone who is above age and trying to portray something. That person will talk, will view that message or what you have said as disrespectful or as an insult. Especially if you are a young boss, then your subordinates are people who are old. So also, it can also be a challenge, because this, how I say to a subordinate who is younger than me, and how I say to a subordinate who is older than me, probably the age of my father, will have to be different in terms of how you are giving orders or how you are telling them to do something. I will have to end here. I know what I have said is too much for some of you. I will end here. If possible, I will talk part 2 on developing those communication skills, and which communication skills, and how to talk to different people. Because communication is the key. In every day, you communicate with your wife, with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, with your husband. You communicate with your family members, with your relatives. It's everyday life. So this subject is crucial. I want to thank a subscriber who asked me about telling him about communication, developing communication skills, because he discovered that there are some challenges he was facing in communicating, in portraying what he will be saying. So thank you guys for tuning in. Whether you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Instagram, you're watching on YouTube, or any other social media platform, don't forget to share these videos. You will be helping someone out there. You will be helping someone. You will be also helping yourself. Don't forget to like, to subscribe. As I am not going anywhere. We are continuing on youth development, wealth creation, businesses, everything, in every area of our lives, until we get there, because we need to get there and behave hands-on, direct hands-on. on, and we need to push as we help each other on these YouTube videos, Facebook, everywhere. Don't forget to share